Yay. Okay, so first of all, thank you guys, and I apologize for the plain weird background here, but we're making the best of it here. My internet's been out for 3 days, and the technician's not coming till 8 o'clock tonight, so I'm at my sister's house tonight. So I want to jump in. As I was saying before we started recording, please just remember that when I come to you, your loved ones are talking to you, not me. I'm literally just the medium. They are going to bring up things. For them, this is a, see, this is what I mean. As soon as I get started, they're already in my head. For your loved ones, this is not about predicting what's coming up in your world. It's not about guessing which sign or symbol you wrote down on a piece of paper before we connected. For them, it's about giving you the details and validations of things going on in your life right now that I can't know, so that you know they're still with you. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so I think I'm going to be starting up here with Brandy, because that gentleman there is like jumping up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. He's like, you're starting with me, because he knows how to haunt me. So we're going to go to him so I can move on.
Okay.
It's interesting. Before we started recording, you said, I don't know who I want to talk to. So when you said that already, they're starting to come choke me out here. As soon as you said that, I saw the lady, which is going one above you, which could either be grandmother or mother figure, and the gentleman. And I'm not sure who this gentleman is to the side. Usually I ask you, who do you want me to connect with? Because you have quite a few people. But I feel like
Mhm.
they just chose themselves because you said that. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah.
Okay. Do you understand who these people are?
I'm thinking. So,
Okay. Who's the gentleman to you? Because he's like very excited that you're here. He feels like we haven't even connected yet. He said, you know who I, he keeps saying, you know who he is. You should have expected that he was here. It's to the side. Let's
is it one of my exes?
see, this is what I mean. To the side, friend, cousin, something like that.
Yep.
Let's do the connection exercise and see what he's got to say. Ouch, he's hurting
Okay.
my chest. Okay,
I'm
you
sorry.
ready?
Okay.
Here we go. Both feet flat on the floor for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to close your eyes, and then I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body, and then blow it directly towards me, and give me a minute to focus. Okay. So there's this gentleman that is stepping forward, and he's definitely showing me that he did not live till like 90 or 100 like we would think of as a long life. He shows me that he passed before we would think of as his time. Now again, that does not necessarily mean that he was like a child when he passed. It just means he didn't live till like 80 or 90. I feel somebody between like 40 and 60 maybe. He's taken me to the chest, and I got some chest pain. Please remember, they take me through their passing from their experience, what they experienced as they transitioned. I don't get to know exactly like what type of cancer they had, for example. I feel what they feel. He's taken me to the chest, and I got some chest pains. I feel like I'm struggling to breathe. I have a sudden unexpected passing, but it's interesting because he shows me the body scan, which is my symbol for more than one issue in the body or pain throughout the body. Feels like this went on for a little bit, but the actual passing at the end went very quick. He was he was laboring my breath and my breathing, and I, because it feels like that's his last memory, is just trying to have that breath, but his actual passing on the other side was very quick. He shows me distance or space, which is my symbol that he's been there for some time, or that he was a distance away, or there was some distance or space, something around before he passed. And he's got a yellow rose, which is my symbol for friendship. Always means friendship, but very often it means separation or divorce. So this is why I call them puzzle pieces at this beginning part, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way that he's coming through, it almost makes me feel like he's still your friend, even if there was that distance or space, even if he's been on that side for some time, or even if you were separated for some time before he passed, he's still your friend, because he put the white blanket around your shoulders, which is my symbol for watching over somebody who has health or stress issues. and he's letting you know that he's right there with you at this exact moment. And that he's kind of pushing the lady back a bit. And I'm wondering if this is mom or grandma, because I can feel a mother figure bond there, and she's going one above. And he's like, not your turn yet. My turn first. Do you understand who this is?
I do.
How do you
It's like
understand the chest and the breath? How do you understand that?
he died of heart attack. He had two of them.
God, yeah, that's why he was saying there was more than one issue in the body. It went on for a little bit, and then I just passed very quickly at the end. Was
Yeah.
there some space in between when you had seen him last and when he passed, or was he in a different place? How do you understand that?
We were together when we were very young. We had a son. He ended up going to prison. He married someone else and had children with them, and there was a lot of trouble between him and I for a very long time. And then towards the end, he was really trying to like reconnect with me and talk about our son.
So he's the first one through. And that's why he's like, you had to know that I'd be here. You had to know that I'd be the first one through. He's like, literally, is your mom still here in the physical world?
Now she died.
Okay, I'm telling you, he's pushing that lady out of the way. He's like, back off, lady. Me first, me first, me first.
He was close with my family.
That's good, because this doesn't feel like it's a negative kind of thing. It feels like it's very caring, like it's my turn. I get this turn. Here's the
Yes.
thing. He's putting that white blanket around your shoulders, which is my symbol for watching over somebody that has health or stress issues. There is absolutely something going on in your world right now that he's wanting to help with right now. Do you
hmm
understand that?
Yes.
Did he smoke as well? Because I can smell a lot of cigarette smoke around him.
Yep. Yep. He did.
He's still smoking on that side.
Don't surprise me.
He's cute though. He just said you. I don't want to say what he just said. How long ago did he pass? Keep in mind that his sense of humor, I think, is coming through here. Um,
He, he passed in February.
oh, huh. Okay. I got to say what he's telling me to say. This is why I
Yeah.
call them puzzle pieces, because it's, take it with a grain of salt, because I'm not saying it. He's like, you
Yep.
look good as you got old. You look good old. And I'm like, you want me to tell her she's old? I'm not saying that. He's like, you better say it, because that's what I'm saying. You tell her she looks good old. And I'm like, do you understand that message?
I do. He's a shit.
Still, always. He said, yes. Do you feel me now? He said, I feel like you've been asking, are you here? Are you here? Are you here? And he's been trying to send you signs and symbols and let you know he's here.
Well, that we had a song to Boys to Men, the end of the road. And 2 days at work the other day, somebody said out of the blue for no reason, Boys to Men. And my head flipped around and I was like, what? And there's been like certain songs that are coming on in the radio, and
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, it's painful for me too, because
See, the pain comes from when you hear these songs, you tell yourself he's gone. That's why it hurts. But what you have to understand is that when you are hearing these songs, what you are hearing is his presence, not his
Mhm,
absence. So if you can understand that he physically doesn't have a physical vessel to communicate with you the way that he used to, but he's still communicating with you in the non-physical in really amazing ways. And if every time you hear one of those synchronicities going on, you can be like, thanks, dude, that's awesome. You're still here.
mhm,
Awesome. Then you're going to feel happiness and joy when those synchronicities happen. So he
mhm,
doesn't have a physical body to communicate physically. He has to use energy. The soul is high vibrating energy that vibrates so fast you can't see it with the physical world. They use synchronicity and alignment and coincidence. Coincidence means co is together Incidences are happenings, together happenings. They put you in the right place at the right time, at the right moment to receive the message that you need to get. They are guiding you along the path towards what you've asked for using together happenings. You
Hmm.
asked for a sign from him to let you know that he's okay, so he bombards you with them. It's funny, your mom just says he always overdoes everything. Everything. He just
Nope.
overdoes it. But he wants to make no he wants you to have, he's like, make no mistake, I am not dead. Invisible, yes. Now I can see you all the time. Can see you all the time.
Mm,
Wink wink.
mm.
He's got his sense of humor back, he says. Please know that he's feeling better on the other side, and that all he has, he just broke open his throat chakra. It's interesting you say at the end he was trying to make peace, because he's saying there's so much that he had to say. There's so much that he wishes he could have done better. He's showing me the rose-colored glasses, which is my symbol for seeing things differently on the other side, and the life review, which is where we have to view our life through everyone else's eyes. Is there grandbabies already? Does your son have grandchildren? Because he's like, I'm a grandpa. I'm a grandpa.
Yeah, my son has a daughter, 9 years old.
He didn't get to know her very much or at all, did he?
No.
Because he just said, he just showed me the emotions and weeping and saying that he's so grateful on the other side to have been given the chance now to watch over that little girl. But I see distance or space as well. Is she living with your son?
No.
I didn't think so, because he showed me your son here and the child here, and distance or space. So he said, please let my son know that I know that she's a distance away, but I'm watching over the entire situation. And if he can forgive him for that distance in his world, he's not dead and he's not gone. And he's going to do everything he possibly can to use his synchronicity and alignment, all of his energy, to continue to be a presence in his life, more now than he even was when he was in the physical world. Do you understand that?
My husband adopted Zach, mine and Scott's son. Um,
He just shook
yeah,
his hand and said, thank you for that. You know what song he's playing in my head?
but
Mighty Good Man
yeah.
by Salt and Pepper. You ever hear
Hmm.
that song? As soon as you
Yeah.
said my husband, he showed me the handshake, which is like, thank you, sir. And he started playing that song. And he showed me breaking open that throat chakra again. And it feels like he might not have been able to express his gratitude in the physical reality, because all he could feel was jealousy and
Hmm.
anger. However, on the other side, he's extremely grateful that your son had that father figure to grow up with.
And Scott actually told my son that before he passed.
Because he just said that again.
He
But
said that
now that he's on that side, he's working overtime to try to make sure that you understand his new language, so that
Mhm.
he can be that presence in his world. Because it's never too late. It's never too
Right.
late. Okay, so your mom just pushed him out of the way. She's like, all right, we're running out of time. I get to say something too. She's jumping up and down, which is my symbol that she had mobility issues, or
Yeah.
could not move around so much before she passed. And
Right.
she's showing me that she's got no pain on the other side. She can move around. She can do all these things. Anything he can do, I can do better. I've been here longer, is the way she's making me feel. Do you understand that?
I do. I do.
They've got roses, honey. Roses are my symbol for birthday, anniversary, or a date that happens once a year. So there is something that either just passed or is coming up. And your mom's got two, because I know Mother's Day just passed. So she showed me another one. So there's another date, special date that just passed or is coming up. How do you understand that?
My son's birthday's tomorrow.
I'm telling you. So she's wishing him a happy birthday. So is Dad. I said they because they both have the rose. And isn't it interesting how you were the first person to buy this ticket like weeks ago? This
Yeah.
group, this is the very first group, just popped up out of nowhere the day before your son's birthday, so his dad can use his energy, synchronicity, and alignment to bring him a birthday message the day before his birthday. Do you see what I'm saying? And even when they
Yeah.
tried to take out my internet, there's where there's a will, there's a way, and we're still here. That's his message for you and for your son and your mom as well, is that if you ask them for what you want and you tell them what you need, they will line it up for you. Your job is to make sure you don't say, well, it'll never happen, it's not possible, because they can make it possible. Where there was no way before, they will create a way. Your job is to tell them what you need, what tools and supports you need. And even if you don't need any help, it's to say, okay, I'm going about my world today. Like when I went bowling the other day, I was like, all right, Dad, it's not that I needed help. I just needed to see his presence there. So what happened? My ball got stuck in the little machine thingy. So
Hmm.
they ended up giving us a free half hour of time for bowling on top of our bowling hour because we had to wait for 5 minutes to get our stuff back. That's how spirit works. They will line things up to get you a better deal when you ask them to come with you, when you ask for their presence. So pay attention to those signs because you're not going crazy. That is absolutely him. He just said that he owes you big time for everything that you did. And if you think that now that he knows the truth on that side, because his little ego's out of the way now that he knows the truth on that side, if you think for 1 second that he's not going to make it up to you, then you didn't know him at all, is what he said. He just had his mind twisted here in the physical world because hurt people hurt people. And the second that he realized, he actually feels like kind of a good guy, but he feels like a bit of a hothead. Like if he thought that he was right and you were wrong, he will go to town to prove his point. But the
Yeah,
second he realizes that he was wrong, it's like, oh shit, what did I do? You understand?
I do.
Your mom's thanking you for remembering her on Mother's Day, wanting you to know that she's taking care of him on that side. And their little energy back and forth, just proves that they're getting along just fine on the other side. Oh, they're pulling their energy back, hon. I hope it was helpful.
It is.
Please know how much he loves you. As he's pulling his energy back, that's all I can hear is I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Make sure your husband knows that. Ha ha. I love. That's why he was telling you that he could see you naked. He's still competing on the other side.
Oh God. Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Their personalities come through and nothing I can do about it.
I know. No, that's him.
Okay, I'm gonna let him pull his energy back, hon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, I'll just get you to put your mute back on. Lynn, I'm coming
Yep.
over to you. Did you just get nervous? I felt my heart just go boom, 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 boom.
It's exciting. It's
Hmm.
exciting.
Who do you want me to connect with?
Whoever shows up, there's many.
I know this is why I have to. Usually, if you've ever seen me read before, I usually ask you, who do you want me to connect with, especially if I've never read for you before? Because if you have that many souls on the other side, I've only got a few minutes with you, right? So I need you to tell me which one to focus on. Otherwise, they all try to jump in at once and it gets very chaotic. So you just give me one or two people to focus on so that I can go right to that energy and bring those people forward for you.
Okay, we're gonna go with Dad and with Guy.
Perfect. Well, Dad's not coming alone, just so you know. When you said I'm going to go with Dad, she's like, Psh, you ain't coming alone. I think his mom on the other side as well?
Yeah, all of my grandparents are there, and my mom is there too.
Okay, so that's your mom. She's like, oh, he ain't coming alone. Oh. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna do the three of them. Your mom's like not having it. She's like right there with Dad. She's like, I don't care. I'll be right here. You can't tell us apart. And then Guy's like, but she chose me. Okay, this is gonna be fun. Ha! You ready to do this?
Yep.
Okay, as you heard in the beginning, we do this connection part, and then I call that part the puzzle dump because they just throw all that at me. So as you heard, I'm just going to explain everything I'm picking up, and then we'll go back and figure out how that fits. But it's just
Okay.
very important that you keep in mind that they take me through their passing from their experience, not ours, because they're already starting. You hear me sounding like Kermit the Frog? Somebody couldn't breathe before they passed, and now I can't. So let's do this so that that goes away.
Okay.
Okay, both feet flat on the floor. I want you to close your eyes and then I want you to take a deep breath, picturing that deep breath starting at your big toe, slowly pulling it all the way up through your body and then blow it directly towards me and give me a minute to focus. Okay. It's interesting. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Puzzle dump.
Yep.
Ah, stop doing that to my face. Okay. So right away, as they start stepping forward, so your parents are here holding hands, which is my symbol that they were married or together in the physical world. I do see a yellow rose, so I don't know, or with them, so I don't know if that means they were separated before they passed, or if just one passed sometime before the other. I'm not exactly sure how to break that down yet. But what's going on is that the other gentleman that you said, Guy, I'm not sure how he relates to you yet, but as he steps forward, I can feel a lot of distorted energy coming with him. Now, what I call distorted energy is pain, grief, trauma around somebody's passing. That kind of energy kind of distorts the energy field, making it trickier for me to connect to. Kind of like water will distort sound. You can still hear underwater, but it'll sound muffled. It'll sound like this. So your
Right.
parents are here, and you don't have, there's not as much distorted energy around their passing, so I can hear them easier. So they're stepping forward, kind of clearing that air to bring him through first. As he steps forward, I feel my face gets very itchy, which is my sign of disfiguration, or that I did not look at the end of my life the way that I did for most of my life. He's like showing me his muscles, he's showing me how strong he is on the other side. I feel all my energy coming back, like almost like the air was out of me, and then I'm like, bing, I'm back, baby. He's like showing me spinning thoughts or my mind spinning, which is my symbol. Whenever I see that, it usually means either I didn't get a chance to say goodbye, I couldn't communicate before I passed, or something in that manner. And then he also shows me the soul tethered to the physical body. Now, when the soul is tethered to the physical body, let me say this better. The soul is always tethered to the physical body with a spiritual cord that's kind of like a baby's umbilical cord, how a baby is tethered to mom with the umbilical cord. Sometimes the soul will step out of their body at the end of their life. There's a few different reasons they will do this, but often it's because either the body was in a lot of trauma and they didn't want to feel the pain, so they step out of it but stay tied to the body. Or sometimes that'll happen if they pass before somebody gets there, they stay with the body. I'm not exactly sure, but this man is here, and very much very much wanting you to know that he didn't suffer. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. He's okay. Who is this guy? Who is this to you?
He's a friend. He's a good friend of mine. We actually were connected. We had a history of years ago, actually this time of year, he came over for coffee, visiting my husband and I. And all of a sudden, it's like the energy's drained out of me. And I'm like, oh, and I come back up and I'm like, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, what the hell was that? His heart stopped.
Wow.
His heart stopped, and because I'm a very powerful healer, I kept him alive. It was timing. Timing was like weird because he and his wife had a fight. He came over for coffee, happened to be at my house. We thought at that point he's diabetic. We're thinking maybe his blood sugar's low,
Yeah.
and he actually ended up with a pacemaker.
That's so fascinating to me, Lynn, because did you hear how he took me through that? What did he
Yeah,
say? He was like, all my energy's back. It was like
yeah,
exactly what you said. I felt everything drain
yeah,
out of him. And then he went, boom, I'm back, baby. I'm
yeah,
back.
yeah. And my husband then is sitting there looking at us, going like, "What is happening with you guys?"
The soul tethered to the body, where he slipped
Yeah,
out of his body but stayed tethered to it in that moment where you say you're giving him healing.
yeah,
Absolutely, that's what I was sensing there. But his
yeah.
passing was just very quick at the very end, like just
He
sudden.
didn't die of that. He didn't die of that at all. What's going on?
He's
My
taking
computer just flickered.
because he's
A
talking to
lot
you
of
right
stuff.
now. Welcome to my world, hon. This is when
Yeah,
they start
yeah,
talking to you. See,
yeah,
what he did when, see, hear my voice is back now. What he
yeah,
did was he took me to that breath and he said he couldn't breathe. He couldn't communicate right before he passed, and then he was on the other side.
yeah.
So how did he, was this was either
Passed, he
stroke,
passed of
heart,
lung cancer.
Do you
And
understand?
I was there 2 weeks, this is COVID time. I was there to see him. Yeah, my computer's totally acting up. I was there to see him March 17th, and he passed away on March 25th, and this is 2020. Like, I left Saskatoon and knowing that I wouldn't see him again. And on my way back, I'm getting calls from clients saying we're being shut down by the government.
Yeah.
So the timing was, and I knew that his passing, he wouldn't have survived in the hospital on his own. He did go back to the hospital eventually. The day that I left, I went to see him. It was an overnight trip. I just like, I'm going to see you. I'm coming. I'll be there. And I sat with him till 11 o'clock at night. And he's sharing stuff, and he shared stuff that no one else knows, that I helped him walk through. So when the hard thing it happened, I didn't know I was a healer. I had no idea.
Oh,
Never touched the stuff, never, none of that. And when I went to see him before he passed, at 11 o'clock, I said, well, I says, I'm gonna go, like, because I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning from Calgary to drive. And his heart rate went through the roof. And I said, well, okay, I'll just stay. And I'm like, okay, somebody help me, because I need to figure out how to leave without him having a heart attack from me leaving. And the next day, they discharged him to be able to go home for the rest of his journey. And we walked away, we walked out of the hospital together. And my last picture of him is a live picture. I didn't even know it was live. He's in his antique truck, his son is driving him, and he's waving goodbye to me.
Aw,
And when I hit the live, he's waving.
I love that. See,
Yeah.
this is okay. So now I have to slow you down. You see me doing all these weird things as you're talking
Yeah.
because I'm receiving messages as you're talking about this. First of all, let me just digress a little bit here. Have you been getting headaches, migraines?
I have his adopted daughter is getting massive migraines.
She needs salt, but not table salt.
Intake? No?
She
Okay.
need not table salt. Table salt is poisonous. She needs Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea
Okay.
salt. The best kind on the market is called Baja Gold or something, Baja, or just any kind of Celtic sea salt because it's got all of the electrolytes and the nutrients in it that she needs. When you're
Right.
getting those types of migraines and headaches, because he kept showing me like the migraine and the headache, and he's like, listen, and I've learned this because I've healed myself from a couple of nasty words that I can't say while we're recording because they own those words, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
But salt will take away that migraine. Celtic sea salt will take away the migraine like that within like 10, 15 minutes, gone.
So what does she do with it?
Put it in your water.
Okay.
Or even, see, the thing is, table salt is very bitter. And if you
Yeah.
take a little bit, it's like, oh, it almost burns. But Celtic sea salt is not. You can like chew it.
Okay.
So she can just, if she's got a really bad headache, just lick a little bit of it, put it in her water. You don't even taste it. You don't need much, just a tiny little pinch. And
Okay.
drink that water, and her migraine will be gone very quickly. I
Awesome.
have
Thank
not
you.
had one. I used to have really bad ocular migraines where you get like the zigzags and stuff as well in your
Yeah.
eyes. And I've not had one since I learned about the sea salt. It is completely gone. So as you were talking, he's like, "Ooh, tell her that. Give her salt." He's like,
Yeah.
"Give me
Yeah.
salt. I
That's
felt the
her
pain."
adopted daughter. Her and I became very close after he passed.
And that's another thing. You see me doing this. This was my symbol for gratitude. As you were talking about all this stuff, he was showing me gratitude. They see it's not an accident in the order that the messages come through in these types of groups. And the fact that the other lady's reading was talking a lot about using synchronicity and energy to be able to communicate with you. And the second that we start communicating, your internet starts going crazy and flickering and stuff like that. And then what you said is that you didn't realize that the last picture you took of him was a live picture, but see, he can manipulate energy.
Yeah.
So he can go back and tweak that and accidentally turn that on for you so that you have that. Because not only can he use energy to put himself in your present because he's not gone, but there's no such thing as time in reality.
Yeah.
time on that side, they can access the past, the present, the future. It's kind of like a movie. When you pop that movie into the DVD player or whatever, when you put it on your screen, what you're seeing on the screen is what is playing at this moment, but it's already been done. It's already been acted out. It's already been recorded. It's already there. The past, the present, the future of that movie is already done. What you are seeing taking place is only where you are at in this present moment, but it's all still there. So on that note, he's thanking you for everything you did. Why do I keep seeing, I don't know what this means. There's a mole or a freckle or something. He's taking me to somebody's face. Shut up. Oh my God. Okay. I could not see that. I'm telling you right
No,
now.
there's a,
It's impossible.
yeah.
Because he just said, she said, tell you something that you can't know. Tell me something she can't know. So he told me that.
Yep.
Wow. Your mom said it's an angel kiss. She's stepping forward. She's like, that's an angel kiss. She calls it an angel kiss. I was born with one on my shoulder, but it went away as I got older. So I heard my grandma's words in my head say, that's an angel kiss.
Yeah.
Your mom stepped forward and said that using my library, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Your parents are stepping forward now. They very much need you to know that they're together on the other side, together, 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 together. Like I said, I see a distance or space between the two of them. I don't know if one passed some time before the other or if they were separated before they passed.
They were 6 years apart, and mom had Alzheimer's. So she had been, and they were together in the same assisted living place, but they also had a nursing home in there. And at one point they had to move mom to the nursing home, but it was still in the same building. So it kept them together, but apart.
Now they are literally physically together, and not just in spirit, but I feel like they've been buried or placed together as well. It's funny
Yep.
because I see the tombstone, which is my symbol for where or how I'm laid to rest, but then I see the urn and I feel like they're both together. Were they cremated?
No,
They were buried?
they were buried.
Is there somebody else with them?
You're good. My
Huh.
brother, my
And he's
brother.
in the urn?
No, he was cremated. He was buried as well.
Got ya. Okay, so what they're doing then is they're just showing me my symbols in my head to show me everybody in one grave kind of thing, like that they're all together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your mom's good at this. She's cheating a bit. She's like, don't tell me that we can only do one or two. We're bringing the whole family. Screw you. This is our time. So she's bringing your brother through first, or as well. First, before they talk. She's not letting dad say something first. She wants your brother to talk first. He shows me sudden, unexpected, traumatic passing. I taste blood, which is my symbol for tragedy. Does not necessarily mean there was blood. He's snapping his fingers. He's like, 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I'm gone. But man, does he feel better on that side. He's showing me that the pressure in his head is gone. I don't know if he was severely depressed or something like this, but I see spinning thoughts there too. Very quick passing, and I'm on the other side. How did your brother pass?
He died of a tractor accident. The tractor rolled back and onto him.
See, spinning,
Yeah.
tasting blood, trauma, tragedy,
Yeah.
quick, unexpected.
And actually I was 14 when it happened. He was 18. And at the funeral, we had open casket. Down east, they have that. And the last day of the viewing, his head had swelled up really bad. For a 14-year-old to look at her brother and see this, and it's like,
Terrifying.
okay, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he and I didn't get along at all.
So it's interesting when you say that, because he was showing me, before you said that, I was asking him in my head, I'm like, why are you showing me that? Because what he was showing me was rose-colored glasses on the other side, which is my symbol for seeing things differently on that side than he did when he was here in the physical world. And he was also showing me the life review, but I also saw this, hun, which is my symbol for the breaking of an addiction. Was he drinking when this happened? Like, was he impaired?
Not that I know of, but
I'm telling you,
that's
I
what
know what
he,
addiction, I know what substance feels like. I feel like there's some kind of
well,
substance.
I mean, back then, the drugs were not as harsh as they are now. So
Drugs, no.
yeah,
Alcohol, maybe.
he used to smoke pot, and he was my, the brother that I just could not, he was mom's favorite, not hidden. And I was always blamed for, stop bugging your brother, stop. I'm like, I'm trying to defend myself. And I'd found a joint in his car. Look, mom, look, mom.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, the only way I can defend myself to mom was showing her his wrong sides.
So he's apologizing in the only way that they can apologize. See, they don't really apologize. What they do is they say, I know I could have done better. And that's what he's saying is I know I could have done better. And he showed me like the white rose, which I feel like he's asking for peace. He's like, listen, can I be on your team? Can I be somebody that, makes it? Did you hear what that lady's ex-husband said too? I'll spend the rest of your life making this up to you.
Yeah,
Brother's coming through with that energy as well. Like, if you will give me the chance, I will make this up to you. And your mom is just, when you said he was always her favorite, she's like, I feel like I could have done better on that one too. I could have done better there. I could have done better there. Because I don't think that was true, but I know that she knows you thought that. And I don't think that it's interesting the way she showed me that is that when she got to that side, she's like, oh, I see why she would say that. Almost like here in the physical world, she would argue with you and say, he wasn't my favorite. No, I treated y'all the same
yeah,
or something like
no,
that. And then when she
no.
gets
All the
up
boys were
there,
mom's favorites.
pardon?
All the boys were mom's favorites. 3 boys and 5 girls, and the boys were all mom's favorites.
She's like, that's why she asked for dad. That's why she didn't ask for me, but I don't
I was
care.
dad's
He's
little
coming in
girl.
here too.
I was daddy's little girl.
So your mom wanted to just apologize for that and let you know that her and your brother are both on that team of wanting to get back into your good books and wanting you to feel their love, more importantly, and not that judgment kind of feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so did dad, because dad just wrapped you in his arms and like give you this big bear hug, like literally lift you off the ground. I don't know if he used to do that, but he like
No.
lift you right up. He's still doing it. And then it's interesting because I heard him say, well, if she gets to do better, I get to do better. And I'm like, but you were the favorite one. So what do you mean by that? He wasn't as touchy feely as he could have been. You
Yeah.
understand that?
Yeah.
I can feel how much he loves you, but he's like emphasizing that he wishes he could have been more hands on, like literally bear hugging you and things like that.
Right.
The thing is, when your parents got to that side, I think they realized that they could have done a better job. And the thing about that though, I want to say is that I don't usually get that kind of message from bad parents. There is no such thing as a perfect parent in this world. We do the best that we
Okay.
can with what we have. And good parents, when they get to that side, they go, wow, I could have done better here. I could have done better here. I could have done better there. I wish I could have. That's because they love you. They
Yeah, my
didn't
computer
change
just
them.
confirmed what you're saying. It keeps flickering. It keeps, when you right click your mouse to
Yeah.
use your screen, that's what keeps coming up.
Do you know
And
why?
I'm not touching my mouse.
That's called spirit emphasis. So my
Yeah.
members, it's funny, these guys down here, well, Joanne's a member, so she hears this all the time. Christina comes usually to the Tuesday group, so she hears this all the time. But that is called spiritual emphasis because what that means is there is no such thing as fluke, random, or chance. So
No,
your
I
loved
know.
ones are pure energy. So what they do is when you say something that they want to agree with or emphasize, you get a flash, a ding, a bing. Sometimes you'll be like, you have a dog here, and then you'll hear outside my window, "Roo!" Like they literally will emphasize what you just said. So as I'm saying that your parents love you so much and they wish they could have the chance to come back and do better, you're getting emphasis on what is being said. Make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep.
Your dad wants you to know that he is very he's kind of funny. He's grateful he went up. He's like, I'm just so grateful I went up. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know if he was not sure that there was a heaven or what the heck that means, but he's like, I'm just glad that I went up. I went up, there's no down. We went up. We're all up here together. I'm so grateful for that. How do you understand that?
Well, I learned a lot about my dad after he passed. So we're a family of 8 kids, 20 years difference from oldest to youngest. My parents that I was raised with are not the same parents as the elders, meaning that they were different.
I know
They're the
exactly
same
what you
parents physically, but very, very different. And the stories that I heard from my older sisters about my dad were not about my dad, basically. I'm like, not my dad. And the same with my mom. When mom passed, they were doing the eulogy, and one sister says, "Oh, well, we should put in there she used to love playing baseball." And I looked at her like, my mom? My mom never left the house. Like, so that age difference made a big difference
Yeah.
because we were raised in different homes, basically. You know, like, I mean, I was 16, I used to go to the bar on Fridays. My mom would say, just don't get caught. Guarantee you, the older ones didn't do that.
Guaranteed. I'm just gonna say you must be a younger kid. I've got four
I
because
am.
by the time the last one's like, I don't care. Just I'm done
Yeah,
fighting
I'm
with
the
you guys.
second youngest. I'm the second youngest. So, yeah.
Your mom just handed me a necklace or a piece of jewelry. Do you still have her jewelry?
My daughter has, so mom's wedding band that she had, we got it cut in half because all of the jewelry, 5 girls, it's, you know, dividing everything. Mom, we weren't rich farmers. And we divided everything in half. And when my mom passed, the wedding band that mom had been wearing, we had it sliced in half. So that my younger sister and I, because we're the two babies, would each have a half. I gave my half to my daughter who wears it on a necklace.
Oh, shivers, because your mom knows about that. And
Yeah,
she's thanking you for that. She's
yeah,
thanking you for forgiving her. And she's really needing you to know that exactly what you just said about how different parents, different times, pain changes people, time changes people.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
do the best that we can with what we have. But make no mistake, they want it on record that they love you with everything in their heart and soul. And that they would do, if they could do it again, they would do it better than they did before. But that they are very much here now and they are very much loving you. And that if you can understand their new language, their synchronistic, energetic presence, that you will always feel their presence and you can always connect and communicate with them. You can tell them what you need and they will guide you along your path towards what you've asked for. Your mom, is as she's pulling her energy back. I know you asked to talk to dad, but dad said you needed this time with mom. Isn't that funny? They know what that you need. He's like, you
yeah.
needed this time with mom to patch that up so that you know that we both, I love the words your dad said. He didn't just say we both love you. He said in love with you. There's a huge difference.
Yep.
And I see something about the flowers and the planting. And your mom said it's never too late to learn.
I've got 36 sunflowers sitting on the windowsill. They're this big.
And you're just starting,
This
like
is the
learning
first year that
this?
I've actually planted in the house, yes.
What did she say? It's never too late to learn. She's
Yeah.
learning with you because I don't think it was her specialty, but she's doing it with you.
Oh, mom had beautiful gardens. Mom won
Oh, okay.
prizes for her gardens. Yeah.
So then what she's wanting me to emphasize to you also is that, so what she's doing is she's talking to you and you just don't even know she's talking to you. Your mom's voice sounds like a thought that interrupts the rest of your thoughts. Your thoughts are pure energy. Your mom is pure energy. So she communicates when she's communicating to you, your heart picks up that vibration and interprets it as a thought. So that thought to randomly start growing 24 sunflowers in your house that comes out of nowhere that you've never had before, that's just you can't get out of your head, that's your
Yeah.
mama's voice. That's
Yeah.
you and her doing things together. When you do the things that they used to love to do, you're going to see magic happening. You're going to feel the synchronicities and alignment. And she just sent you, that's why watch for the butterflies and the ladybugs, because that's what I'm seeing around all of those plants. Well, I know there's going to be bees around them because I see the bees around them as well.
I water the bees. I give them water all summer last summer. There's water dishes at the back for my bees.
Oh gosh. Okay, so that's why she's showing me. So you got the
Yeah.
flowers for the bees. Usually people get the flowers not in for the bees. Usually we get that's so funny. Anyway, I'm saying it wrong. But she's loving it. I'll tell you that. She's very much loving being able to do those things with you. And so what that means is if you don't know what the next step is, because what did she say? It's never too late to learn. So if that was her specialty, she's teaching you. So all you have to do is say, okay, how do I do this next step? And then give it a little time and she will synchronize the answer into your world. And when it comes in so dramatically, specifically that it's mathematically impossible to be fluke, random, or chance right after you've asked for it, you'll feel her presence in that moment and know that she's still here with you. Your friend Guy just gave you a rose, birthday, anniversary, date that happens once a year.
His birthday last week.
So as they're starting to pull their energy back, he's saying thank you, and he showed me the rose. And it's interesting that we said that, or he showed me that right after I said no such thing as fluke, random, or chance. They kind of lined up these Friday morning readings.
Yeah, this one was perfect. I've watched all of your other one. And I can't. I'm working. And I've changed my schedule to rearrange things. And this morning just happened like, well, this works perfect tomorrow. So, because as you saw, I just bought that yesterday.
Yeah, he helped with that.
Yeah.
They're pulling their energy back on. I
Awesome.
hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you.
You are so
Thank
welcome.
you. Very appreciated.
Awesome. Okay, Joanne, I'm coming to you. It's interesting. I'm so curious now because you've been a member long enough to know these messages happen in the right order, right? And so there's a lot of information in the messages that have already taken place that is for you too. See, I know it's your mom you want to connect with. I don't know what your connection or what your questions are yet, but I know it's mom that's on the other side because she's standing right there with a freaking clipboard and a list. And what's interesting, you're going to call it, shut up. See, I'm telling you, she's standing right there showing me she's got the list. She's got the list. But what's interesting is whatever we're about to talk about for you is just as significant for Christina up here. We were just talking, Christina was in a bit of an accident yesterday. Somebody rear-ended her, smacked her face against the windshield, got a little cut here. The energies in the world right now are off the frickin' charts. I'm at my sister's right now. I have no internet. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So what is going on, the best that I can tell, is that things are being like rearranged in many different ways. Timelines are merging. I drove here to my sister's house, which I've been to. She's lived here for 20 years. I've been here so many times, and I felt like I was driving on a brand new street, like I'd never been here before. It was so bizarre. Everything is in different places all over the place. So our lives right now, we thought we were on this path going this way. We're like, no, detour, 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 detour. And what looks like it's happening to you is actually happening for you to put you in a different place at a different moment at a different time so you can receive what you've asked for. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I can feel your plans have been skewed and altered and are like, so what is your focus, my friend?
I wanted to talk about my kids. Because, well, with selling my house, I know it doesn't make a lot of sense to people like you're in your 50s. You're going to sell your house and you're not going to have anything. You're going to just
Make perfect sense.
I know it does. And my son says, you're just not doing it. He even got his son to say, Grandma, we don't want you to move. And he makes me feel bad, you know.
Oh, honey.
So I'm not sure how to talk to him about this, about selling my house, because the realtor came and he phoned me and told me what he would list it at, and it's like astronomical.
I told you, remember the
I
last
know.
members group? Your mom said, no, higher, 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 higher.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still looking at motorhomes and stuff, and I just need to need help talking to the one son that really cares.
See, you got to understand that he's coming at this from a perspective of love. He
Mhm.
loves you so much that he's afraid that if mom doesn't have a tie right here, she's going to be gone and I'm not going to see her so much. Especially you want to take away her house that is where I know it
Yeah.
is and give her a house with wheels? What the heck, man? That's my mama. All he
Yeah.
needs is some reassurance. See, here's the thing. When you explain to him exactly how hard life is for you where you are right now, and that all you want is to be able to live the life that you've always want, and that this
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're going to be taken away from him. It means that you're going to be able to love him better. You're going to be a happier version of yourself. You're going to be able to love him more and better. And maybe you won't see him for you won't be stuck in one spot all the time, but that doesn't mean you're not going to see him. You're going to be back and forth and you're going to have wheels. I can come and go as I please. We have technology,
Yeah.
we have phones, and I can take you guys to Disneyland or do something fun. We can enjoy our life moving forward. And you ask him, do you want me to stay here and be miserable so you can be happy? Or do you want me to be happy so I can make us all happy? Sweetheart, I promise you, Mama's never going to leave you. I'm just literally a phone call and a short drive away. That's it. But this is something that I need to do for me. And I know that it's hard for you to understand, but I need you to trust me on this. Because if I stay, I'm staying for you and I will be miserable. And that's not what you want. I know you love me enough that you want what's best for me. You don't want me to push myself down in a box just to make you happy. And that's
Yeah.
also why this had to be recorded and up on the internet for everybody to see, because you can tell him, you go see this.
He sent me a link, or his wife sent me a link for to see a psychologist for like trauma, or because he thinks I'm depressed. And
But you're not. And see,
no.
this is the type of thing we lead by example as parents, right? So the thing is, we can make choices based on fear or we can make choices based on faith. There is no other choice. It's love or fear. That's it. No matter what choice you're faced. If you make a choice based on fear, it's going to blow up in your face and be negative every single time, no matter what. When you make a choice based on love for yourself and your family, it will bloom every single time. This is a perfect example of how sometimes you have to, I've called it shit river before. It's not shit
Yeah.
river exactly here, but it's the analogy you've heard me use a number of times.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have to climb out first, because as long as you're all sitting there owning houses, handling the muck, right? Because your son probably has his own house too. So he has all of this pressure, all of this responsibility, all of these burdens, all of this, burden on his shoulders. And he's like, I'm dealing with it. You could deal with it too. And he's thinking that this is the way it has to be. He doesn't understand that there could be a better way, another way. And so when you step out of that space and you start walking up that hill of possibilities and you start living that life and showing him that example of how much happier you are, how much more carefree you are, how much more life you have, how much, all of that, he's going to feel better. He's going to feel like, okay, mom doesn't need a psychologist. Maybe I need a psychologist. What am I staying here for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. I have all those things in my head, and every time I start to talk to him, I start crying. I don't know how.
It's because you can feel his fear. You're very empathic and psychic as well, right? So the thing is that as moms, we teach them. We lead the way. They will take, no matter, I don't care how old your children are. I have a 31-year-old. His birthday was a couple of days ago. I don't care how old they are. They take their lead from us. If we're okay, they're okay. So if you are excited and happy and enthusiastic and living your best life and your son sees that as mentally ill,
Yeah.
you understand that that says more about his state of mind than it does about you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
maybe he needs to see that
He's probably just scared for me.
That's exactly it. But you're not going to be scared. You're going to be like, listen, you don't have
Yeah.
nothing to be afraid of. Mom's fine. I'm living my best
Mhm.
life. And if you're worried that I'm going to be like stuck at some point with no money left or whatnot, you're going to take a little bit of that money you're going to get from the house. You're going to put it away. You're going to invest it somewhere where it's safe. Might I suggest silver and gold?
Yeah.
Something my grandma told me a long time ago when they sold their house and they had like almost $1 million in the bank. She thought
Yeah.
that was going to be enough to help her retire or like until she died. But then what happens is that money, inflation goes up and that money's value goes down.
Mm.
And so what she said to me was the biggest mistake she ever made was putting her money in 1960 when they retired in the bank because that's what happened. She said, I should have bought gold. Because
Yeah.
if you buy gold with that money and you have real gold around, then you can sell that gold and the gold goes up and up and up and up and up and up. If she had bought $500,000 worth of gold back in 1960, by 1990, when the money in the bank ran out, that money would have been a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do something like that with your son. If you can show him some steps that if you can say to him, you know what? This is going to go good. And your mom's a lot smarter than you think she is. Thanks for giving me some credit, kid. I am
Yeah.
so happy about this and so excited. And I'm never going to leave you. I love you so much that I'm never going to be far away. I'm going to be here. You're just going to have to see this take place in order to believe it. But show him what he needs to see, that there is some investments going on. But if they're going to treat you negatively, because sometimes people who are in fear, they will lash out. Not
Yeah.
because they want to hurt you, but because that's what fear does. So if that happens, you say that's not acceptable. You don't get to talk to me like that and criticize me and judge me and tell me that I'm like freaking batshit crazy because I'm doing something that makes me feel good. You need to put that boundary there because if he thinks it's okay even a little bit to project that at you, you will get more and more and more. It will just intensify. He needs to know that if he has an opinion on this, that he needs to keep it to himself right now, unless and until he can see that he can point out there's some kind of relevant, right in my face danger, then you keep your opinions to yourself. I'm the mama, you're the child.
Yeah.
Let's pull a card. Your mom just said, pull a card, because I can see it going really well. I see him changing his tune once he sees how happy you are, because your son really does love you.
Yeah.
How does this go, guys? She's like, see, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Oh, wow. First of all, boom, this is the house, the tower card. So the tower card, and this is kind of what's going on in this situation for your son, okay? So the tower card is symbolizing being here in your little comfort zone, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, lightning strikes, chaos everywhere. You're blasted out of your comfort zone, right? For your son, that's exactly what mom moving and selling her house and getting a motorhome is. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah.
This is the energy behind it. The world card is the most successful card in the deck. It is also it's a cycle card. It's the end of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. It's the world card. It gives you transportation, the ability to travel the world. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of that is going to be okay. And the card on the bottom of the deck that's influencing it all is people, getting you together with other people. I think if you express to your son how lonely you are where you are, and that this gives you the ability to be connected with more people, not disconnected, and you reassure him that that's what's going on here, and if you are going to be mean to me about this, then I'm not going to be able to, like, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to hang up the phone. I'm not going to listen to that because this is what I need. And if you love me, you will support me because I'm lonely where I am and I need this.
Yeah.
If you can explain that to your son, he's going to get it, and it's going to be quicker than you think. He's never seen anything like this, right? It goes against everything he's ever been taught, everything he's ever known. It's very sudden, but
Well, because everybody thinks that you have a job, you live in a house, and that's it. That's just the end of all.
is that what life is about? 9 to 5,
No.
you know? Work exactly. You have the opportunity to live your freaking life and enjoy it along the way and make money. It's not like you're just taking this money and going and moving to Cuba and living on the money for the rest of your life.
No.
You're using it to invest in your dreams. You're investing in something you've always wanted to do. That you need to bring up to your son as well. I can't do my dream here. This is not possible here. This gives me the ability to live my dream. You just got to advocate for yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And by doing this, it's also an opportunity to get you speaking about it, because in order to create something in this world, ding, 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 she's saying you haven't been speaking about it enough. Because in order to create in this world, how do we do that? There's the creational process goes vibrational creation, thoughts, speech, and then we write it down, and then it physically manifests. You're doing a lot of thinking and writing, but you're missing a very important component of the vibrational creation process. So your son giving you some resistance is making you have to use that voice to vibrationally create it. It is making you very much break down step by step what's going on in here, speak it out loud so that you can more tangibly see it on a piece of paper, and they can more perfectly align it in your physical manifestation world. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I can speak about it to other people. It's just
Your
hard. with
son.
my- Yeah.
Yeah, because he's mommy's baby, right? Not in a bad way, but in a good way. And when you can really reassure him, dear, the mentally insane thing would be to stay doing something that if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And do you realize how depressed I am where I am? Maybe I didn't explain that enough to you before because I didn't want you to worry or whatnot, but staying stuck in this house is killing me. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't realize that, but that's the reality. This entire endeavor is giving me a new lease on life, and it's not going to take me away from you. It's going to give us better quality of time together
Yeah.
than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
And then you just say, give me the benefit of the doubt. Have I not earned that?
Yeah. I've
And
never
Gary-
had to ask for help from anybody. I've always done it.
You will do this. It's going to be just fine. But you're also leading the way. You're breaking through expectations. You're breaking through fear. You're breaking through stigmas. See, your son every single day makes his choices based on what he thinks he has to do every single day, right? And so by you smashing through this reality for him, think about this as a glass window that he can never go through that because he doesn't think it's possible. He doesn't think it's okay. He could never make a choice like that because it would be, you see how much resistance he has to thinking that's even possible. When he sees you do this and create this like multi-million-dollar business or this extraordinarily successful business out of this, he's going to be like, wow, if my mom can do that, I can do that too. And all of a sudden, all of these windows of opportunity are going to open in his world. And it might not be today, and it might not be tomorrow. It might not even be next year. It could be 5 or 10 years from now. But at the right moment, at the right time, at the exact right moment when he needs something there, he's going to remember my mom broke every rule in her life and was able to live her best life, and I can do it too. You are teaching him how to do that kind of thing in this world, because as parents, it never stops. We never stop teaching them. It's just that as parents of adults, we don't teach them by speaking anymore. We teach them with our actions. Our children do not do what we say, especially as adults, but they do what we do. They will follow in our footsteps every single time. So you keep trucking on that road. It's not supposed to be easy. You are smashing through all the barriers that have held you back before. And every time you feel sad about that, you just release that, get it out, like release it and thank them and say, thank you, Mom, for talking to him. Thank you for talking to his heart. Thank you for helping him understand. Thank you for letting him see it through my perspective. Thank you for lining the events up so that he will feel satiated by this. Ask for the tools and supports you need at this moment in time. And what you need right now is communication, understanding, and support.
True.
It's all gonna be okay. And she's so excited about the house. All I keep hearing is, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. Like it's like significantly higher than what you thought it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Like 30,000. I said, I was thinking in my head a number, and his number is 30,000 higher.
And you might get a little bit higher than that, because remember she showed me like some type of bidding war going on?
Good, yeah. Yeah, I need to phone him and talk to him this weekend.
She said, just relax. It's all going to be at the exact right moment, the exact right time. And that his feelings, I keep hearing, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. It's just that tower moment for him. Shock. Like it's like it comes out of the blue. Like I never
Yeah.
would have thought my mom would have done this. Like, is she freaking crazy? Like, what do you mean you're going to sell your house and not have anywhere stable to live? It's like, no, I'm not going to sell my house and have nowhere stable to live. I'm going to sell my house and invest in my dreams. What part of that is crazy? Maybe that's crazy for you. Maybe you want to stay working at a 9 to 5 controlled by the government all your life, but not me, baby. And so if I can do this, you can do it too. Might be not today or tomorrow, but you will be able to do it too. So as much as you don't understand this right now, son, I'm doing this for you as much as I'm doing it for me. So hold my beer,
Yeah.
right? Watch me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel a little better?
I do. Yeah.
Good, because I don't see him being that resistance happening very much longer. I see that the second that I feel like you have to communicate your dreams more a little bit to him clearer, like show him that this isn't just something whimsical, but you have this all nailed down. Like you've got the business already planned out, you've got things in motion.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's telling the wife to settle down a little bit. Like it feels like some of this is coming from the wife even more. It's interesting. She does it. She won't say too much about that. She's like, nope, this is being recorded. I'm shutting my mouth. I just know that she's like talking to him, and it feels like she's getting him egged up a little bit because she loves him, right? So she's like, your mom can't leave. Like, this is not okay. What's just going on? What are we going to do? Like, women, we get in there. We're like, okay, let's fix it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like these are bad intentions. I think it's being done out of love, but at the same time, as the mom, it's like if you start, for example, if you want to go out and have some drinks and you ever have this situation, your 12-year-old's there and he's like, "Where are you going, mom? You're going to drink alcohol." Da, 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 da. And that you ever have one of those teenagers getting in your face like that, one of those moments, and you're like, "Listen, I'm the freaking mother here. I can do what I like. Mind your business." At some point you have to put that boundary there because it's not good for them to be parenting mom thinking that they have the power to control you.
Well, yeah. I had twin boys who exactly did that. They pushed their limits with everybody and to be the boss.
So this is where you have to let them know that you're the boss. And I promise you, when you let them know that you are the boss, you will give them comfort by doing that. Yeah, they're going to be mad at first, but kids like to be told no sometimes. They need those boundaries. It's like, do I want somebody to tell me you have to be home by 10 o'clock? No, I don't like that as a teenager. But do I want somebody to care about when I'm home? Frickin' rights I do. You see what I mean? So you need to establish those boundaries because when you do, they will feel safe. They will feel comfortable knowing that if mom has the ability to put me in my place, she's good. She's good.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then she's like, just get excited, would you? And start talking about it more. That's where you are right now. You haven't done enough talking about exactly what you're doing here. So share that with him. And if it's too abrasive from his responses are too abrasive, shut it down and say, when you can talk to me nicely or appropriately, then we'll continue talking about this. But you can't talk to me like that. That's not okay. And if she says you need a shrink, just laugh and say, well, thank you. But we'll see. What I would say to that is, okay, dear, I'll make you a deal. I'll keep this number. If I need this number in 3 years, if you don't see a complete turnaround here in the next 2-3 years, then I'll take your advice. You win. But you watch me now. You watch how this turns into something amazing for me.
Yeah. And for them too.
And for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on that list before mom pulls her energy back?
No.
Know how much she loves you And she's like, I'm so glad you came because it feels like, I'm like, why didn't you just come tomorrow? And she's like, we're busy. Are you busy tomorrow?
Yeah, probably. No, I'm not going anywhere for the long weekend or anything, but you know how going on the group thing is, not all the time do I get to talk to you. So,
Yes. Oh, that's exactly it. She's like, it's got, yeah. And I just read for you like a week or two, like
yeah,
week and a half ago. So she might knows that I might not come to you. So she's like, nah, see, that's what Christina does that too every week. She's like, forget members. I'll just come. I get read every single week.
yeah. And it's only $30. So,
Perfect. Aw. She's
yeah.
so excited. She loves you very much.
No,
Um,
her too.
as she's pulling her energy back, she gave you a raincoat. Is it
No,
raining there?
yeah.
Oh,
It it's supposed to rain till Thursday. I'm just 2 hours away from you. I'm surprised it's not raining in
oh, it
Calgary.
is. It is very much
Yeah.
raining in Calgary. I thought you were in BC.
No, Lethbridge.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it just poured just like half an hour ago.
Very much raining here too. But she said, oh, that's why she gave you the raincoat because she wants you to still go for the walk.
Yeah.
I still want my walk. Just put on the frickin' coat.
Take
Do
the
you have
dog
booties?
in.
Do you have booties for your dog?
No, no, I don't. I should because she gets mud
That's
all
what
over her
that's
feet.
what your mom said. She's like, just put some little booties on the dog. You're good. Just put the booties on the dog. Oh, so watch you be out in the store somewhere and you're gonna line up with some booties that'll
Yeah.
work.
I could just see her. She'd probably hate them.
Your mom's funny. She's like, she'll get used to it. It's fine. As long as we get our walk. We're getting our walk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let her pull her energy
All
back.
right. Thanks, Tracy.
You're very welcome.
Have a good weekend. If I
You
don't,
too.
might listen tomorrow too.
Awesome. Okay, Christina. So back up to you. As I was saying, before we even started recording, it's interesting. It's not an accident in the order that the messages are brought through, and I kind of saved you to the end. I usually do because all these other messages very often pertain to you as well, and they very much did today. Hold on. You're figuring out your mute.
Sometimes it doesn't want to pop up.
Yeah, energy's like that. Did you get a new truck as well? Like, were you in your work truck when that happened?
Yeah, I was working. But it wasn't, it was one of the older trucks. So I was happy about that because I told them, I'm like, it's a good thing you didn't have me in one of the newer ones. Because this lady looking at imaginary flowers, you know. I wrote that in my statement too. I was sarcastic with it.
See, do you feel your energy on this? Do you feel happy or do you feel pissed off?
Well, I'm not really pissed off. I was just sarcastic about it because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It frustrated me because I thought like I was gonna lose hours, but I ended up having hours even while I was at the hospital and all that. I didn't clock out until I was done with the paperwork, so it worked out. But I thought I was gonna lose money. Like
So
I count
stop
on
right there
money
for a
now.
second. This is really important. Life is teaching you something very important right now. You hear what you said. I was sarcastic in the paperwork. You can feel that energy is like, I wanted her to get hers. She lied. There's a frustration, anger energy there, right? That feeling comes from thought. Your feeling is a chemical reaction to your thought. When you think you're going to get your hours taken away, when you think that this is going to present hardship to you, you react with that presents that energy of frustration and anger and all of that kind of stuff, right? But what happens if we change those thoughts? What happens if, think about it this way, okay? Let me just change this scenario, okay? Because as you're talking about this, I'm seeing a picnic basket from about 15 years ago, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. As my kids and I were walking up to a picnic table many, many years ago when I was a very poor single mom, we had just spent my last $10 on some fries and a couple drinks for the kids. That's the only food that we had at this park that we were at. And as we walked up to this picnic table, there was this box on this picnic table. And inside that box, it was full of like snacks. There were some sandwiches, there were some granola bars, there was some like crackers, some cookies, some juice boxes. Everything we could have needed was in that box. And my kids were like, score! And they went to run into it and grab it. And I was like, don't you dare touch that box. And I'm like, you don't know whose box that is. You don't know. They're like, well, there's lots of stuff in here. They're not going to miss it. And I'm like, you don't know. That box it could belong to a young single mom just like I am, who that's all she's got in the world, and she's got 5 kids here. You don't know that. What if they forgot it here? What if that's the only food they have in the whole world? You know what I mean? Like, what if? And so I wouldn't let my kids touch it, and they thought I was being mean. And I was like, don't you dare touch it. And I kind of put it over beside
wouldn't touch
the
it either.
table and tucked it down, right? Sure enough, within 5 minutes of us sitting there eating, this mom, literally with 4 young children, just like I said, came running up the hill looking for the box. She's like, oh my God, was there a box of food there? Please tell me there was a box of food on that table. And I pointed down. I'm like, it's right here, hon. Nobody touched it. I made sure. And she burst into tears and she said, thank you so much. She said, that's the only, that's our picnic and our lunch box for the rest of this week. That's what she had for the entire week. Now,
Wow.
and the second that we heard that, my kids were like thanking me, because first they were so mad at me for not letting them have that, because all we had was some fries. They're sitting there eating their fries. They're like, I sure could use a granola bar. You know what I mean? But the second that they understood the backstory behind that, their anger gone. Now, I'm seeing that in this situation. What if, let's just make another scenario for this lady. What if she hadn't worked in a month? What if she's on the last of her tank of gas and she's, going to apply for a job somewhere and she can't see the address and she's trying to text on her phone to see where the address is and look at the buildings and bam, she smacks into you. Now, not only am I possibly going to miss my job interview, but there goes my car insurance through the roof. If they find out I'm on my phone, I'm going to have like no freaking car whatsoever, which is like the worst of the worst. Thank God I came up with some story about seeing flowers so that I'm not going to get charged for texting and driving. And then here's this lady going, nah, she was texting, man. She was fucking texting.
No, I didn't say any of
No,
that.
I know. But the energy behind it, you see what I'm saying? The energy, the frustration behind it is not knowing what her backstory is. So not knowing what her backstory is, and all you know is that she lied. You know she lied. And so now you're inconvenienced, you're hurt, you're put out, and she's lying. So your anger and your frustration is justified based on what you're thinking about the situation. But what I'm trying to say is what you can see and what you are thinking about the situation is still based on a limited perspective of what is actually going on. Do you follow me? Now, with that being said, what I want to say is that if you can start thinking about, okay, God, start showing me all the ways that this happened for me. Because the second that I came to you, I felt right away, you're going to get a brand new truck. You're never going to have to drive in that old beater again. That old beater probably could have broken down on you on the wrong place at the wrong time, and it would have been way more inconvenient. Not only that, all your hours were covered. Now you get new glasses, a new truck, you get extra hours that you didn't have to work. You're going to get, a bunch of little things are going to come together. Do you see what I mean?
No, and I know, and after it happened, and while I was in the ambulance and stuff, I was like, it
Oh
could have
my
been
goodness.
so much worse, and I'm thankful that it wasn't, and that we were both okay, and I was counting my blessings. I mean, I was a little frustrated because I was a little worried. I'm a single mom.
Exactly. So that's exactly like me, right? Like when they cut my internet, I was worried too. This is my lifeline. So we have that reaction. I started crying. Like I said on my live the other day, I bawled for like an hour. I was so frustrated and stuck because in my head, I'm saying, I can't work without my internet. This is hard without it. I can't do this without that. I need this. Ah. Your feelings are based on what you are telling yourself here. So this situation, because it's multifaceted, there's many different reasons why something like this happens, right? But one of those reasons is to show you, to train you on how to get control of this. Because if you can control this in any situation, you can manifest anything out of any situation. It's like a situation is a stem cell. Do you know what a stem cell is? Those are the cells that can turn into anything. So stem cells are like the brand new cells that you can turn it into an ear, a foot, a nothing. They're like anything. They're beginning stage stem cells, right? Most valuable cells in the entire world. Our thoughts are like that. If you can see the situation is happening for you, it will. It will develop in that way. The second, so you get that energy of frustration and anger and negativity out. You can't just swallow it. It doesn't go away. So cry, scream, whatever you got to do, talk about it until it's out, and then immediately go into, okay, how does this work for me? How can I make this work? How can I bring this together? How can I make this a positive? And when you bring it around to that,
I
it's,
did today.
yeah.
I did. I mean, I did starting last night, but I went to sleep, obviously. But see, the thing that like frustrates me, Tracy, is that like a week or so ago, I had a vision while working that I was gonna get hit, but it was on the side of the van, not the back. So I've been being extra cautious, and that caught me off guard where I couldn't even protect myself. And I was like, I don't understand why God you gave me like that vision, but I couldn't even protect myself from it.
Because you weren't meant to. What did I just say? Stay
But
with
it's
me here.
frustrating.
But Christina, understand that you don't just wake up knowing this stuff. You have to go through it and experience it to be trained. It's like if you're learning how to print, do you just wake up with the pencil in your hand and know how to do it, or do you have to practice it? You have to
You have
have
to practice.
situations that will allow you to practice this. And let me tell you what your vision told you. Your vision told you that this was something that was destined to happen. Your vision told you that you got hit on the side because it's symbolic of being blindsided. You needed a situation that was going to blindside you so that you could choose to see it in a positive way so it will have positive outcomes. This is training you to know how to do that. If you're not in these types of situations, then when something bad happens, you are not going to know how to change it into a positive. We learn how to do that through these little situations. And what better way to learn how to do that than in a vehicle that's not yours, that you don't have to pay the insurance on and all that kind of stuff, where it's not your fault. This is the perfect scenario to teach you how to feel good in any situation, how to be able to see it as a positive in any situation. If you didn't have this experience, you won't be able to develop that skill, and you need that skill. Not only that, but this also helps to give you the recognition and understanding that you do have a lot more psychic ability than you give yourself credit for. And I know you have ability, but you have to understand that those abilities, seeing yourself getting hit, doesn't mean that you're being shown that to prevent it. Maybe you're being shown that so that when it happens, you don't think that it's punishment or that it's happening to you, that you
Well,
understand that this
I
was
didn't think
meant.
it was happening to me because even like
Then,
a
okay,
couple
so
weeks ago,
hold on, before you finish that sentence, when you say I didn't think it was happening to me, then where the heck does the frustration come from?
I don't know. I
Because
think
you
it was
did
just
see it was happening to you.
no, it was the fact that I was just worried, single mom. I thought my
To
hours were
you,
gonna be top.
to you,
Yes,
to
okay,
you,
okay.
to
I
you.
get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
I know.
I get it.
This is
I'm
exactly what
I'm
I'm saying.
learning.
I know. You're doing amazing. Learning how to understand our own psychic ability is not easy. It takes baby steps, and we learn through life. This is why I get up here and I talk about my own life all the time, because these are the situations how God taught me, and He's teaching you. You are being taught by God above. See, some of us go to college and university to be trained by professors to become who we think we want to be. And some of us go through life being trained by God to be who He needs us to be. He's training you to recognize that there is training coming up in your world, that you are being trained to use your senses and your gifts in a way that is going to help you in your life moving forward. But this is just training. And as soon as you understand that this is happening for you, not to you, your hours didn't get cut. In fact, you got free hours that you didn't even have to actually work for. You get a better truck, you get better glasses. Every time you start feeling frustrated, you go, no, this happened for me, not to me. I got all these other things. Thank you for making this situation happen. Thank you for getting me through this quickly and helping me see it as a positive. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you because Timmy got a little ride in the woo-woos, which he liked, the whirly woos. He's like, woo,
Yeah,
woo, woo, woo.
that was kind of like a bitter sweet moment. I had to take my mind off that a little bit because when I first got in the ambulance,
I know.
I had that incident with him.
Yeah.
Then I was sitting in the hospital all by myself. And I'm like, oh. And I had to take the memories away. It was like a bittersweet thing. It wasn't very exciting, I gotta tell you.
No, I know.
Because that was my first time back there since that.
And see, now this is where the pain is coming from. You understand? It's not about any of those other things that you just said that we've been talking about. It's not about the hours, it's not about the truck, it's not about none of that. It's about the fact that you were put right back into a position and having to deal with a pain that has, the greatest pain of your life. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. Please know that you weren't alone though in that situation, because that's what Timmy said. Is he said that he was right with you in that ambulance, but this time it was more fun for him because he wasn't the patient and he knew you were going to be okay. But he was with you in that moment. Were you sitting up in the ambulance? He said she didn't lay down.
No, I was like sitting up, yeah. Yeah. So I think that was because like I told you, I didn't like it's not like I said, God, why did this happen? I didn't, do that. I mean, obviously I was crying hysterical
Of
mess when I
course.
called dispatch and I'm like, they just hit me. I didn't even tell them who I was at first, and they're like, who is this? I'm like, it's Christina, and they're like, where are you? We'll come there. And then he's like, I gotta get off the phone so I could call an ambulance and stuff for you. But yeah, it was just, yeah. I guess, yeah. So I didn't think of it as that until I just told you about it.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's why this is hard, honey. That's why
Yeah.
you're emotional. But see, if you don't realize, here's the thing about anger, okay? You notice how you're not so angry anymore? All of a sudden the anger's gone because we got to the real emotion. The thing is that when you feel anger, anger is not really an emotion. Anger is a secondary emotion. It's not a primary emotion. Anger is the feeling that comes in to cover up the primary emotion because we feel too vulnerable to feel that primary emotion. So anger covers it up to keep you safe. So when you were exposed to that fresh traumatic memory of your son being taken away in an ambulance, then your anger came in to cover that pain up so that you could make it about that, because that was easier to deal with than the pain that it brought up. This brought up more pain for you. That is what you're feeling right now. And Timmy said that there is something that is going to come about from this. Slow this down. Hold on a sec. There is a circle round, and I don't know what that means. He's showing me that this is going to circle around into something really positive in your life. But kind of like, remember how they made you drive down that street a couple of times?
Yeah.
In order to desensitize you so that those things wouldn't affect you anymore the way that they would before. Like that street doesn't affect you the same as it used to, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those things that, so because they're up here and they can see everything and they can feel your feelings and hear your thoughts, They know that every time you see an ambulance, ba-boom, 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 your heart just, whether you consciously are aware of that or not, they are. So slowly but surely, they're desensitizing you to that so that you don't have to live with that for the rest of your life. But I want to reassure you again that you will get through this very quickly, and there are some very big payoffs out of this afterwards. And Timmy's just is showing me that he sat there holding your hand the whole time, because he's like, I was with her, I was holding her hand. When you said you were alone, he's like, no, she wasn't. I was right there. She never left my side. I never left hers. And he said, but she wasn't laying down like I was. She was sitting up.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Was it an old man or an older man that was?
No, it was an older lady.
Oh, okay. Because he's showing me that the person that was caring for you was a little bit older, and that the next time, if not that there's going to be a next time with an ambulance, but if he could have done better, that he would have got you a young hot guy to like flirt with his mommy. That's the only thing he could have thought of to try to
Oh,
make.
no, it was a young lady. I thought you meant the person that hit the truck.
Oh, no, 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 no. The person that was caring
There
for you.
wasn't there was an older guy, but I didn't really even see him because
I
he
know.
was behind me. Yeah.
Timmy's like saying something about, sorry, he was so old, but if I could do it again, I'd get the young guy there so that you'd have someone to flirt with a little bit, made it a little bit easier. It's like, it's okay, Mom. Lighten up. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. They definitely made sure that you didn't get hurt worse than you actually did.
No, that's what I told Mom. I said, Mom, I'm pretty sure like Timmy and them like made sure that my head didn't get hurt too bad because it could have been a lot worse because I did go forward and I went forward hard.
And you're going to get some compensation out of this in some way, shape, or form, especially because like broken glasses, stuff like that, like they're going to have to pay for all of that. So it's funny because Timmy's like, get the expensive ones, Mom. Get the expensive ones. They have to pay for it anyway. So get the ones you want.
That's what that's what I was telling my friend. I'm like, I think I'll just get myself a pair of like Nike frames or something.
There you go.
Not coming up from me.
And you needed new glasses anyway?
Yeah, I could have used a new pair.
So Spirit found a way to get you a new pair and a new truck and some compensation and desensitize you to those ambulances and remind you that they're never going to let you get hurt, that if there's something that's going to happen in your world, you're going to see it ahead of time. That's not to scare you, and it's not usually so that you have to prevent it. It's just to give you a heads up so that you don't feel blindsided. And at the same time, when I want to remind you, and I can't stress this enough, when you have a vision like that and then it takes place, it's meant to let you know to trust your instincts and trust that you are being trained and guided towards being able to use them in the way that you want. And I know that you're praying for those to develop. I know that you're asking God to help you develop those. And how do I know that? Because you had that incident. Because these are answered prayers. When you ask for those gifts to be developed within you, you have to be prepared to go through training. Like when a Navy SEAL wants to have the privilege of being the most prestigious, trusted elites in the world, they have to go through the training to allow them to develop those skills. You are being trained, sweetie. You're being trained.
I got a question.
Yeah.
This is why I came today because of all this stuff that happened. A couple days ago, I was driving back from visiting my friend, and either a yellow bird fell out of a tree onto my windshield, or it flew onto my windshield. But anyway, it died, and I didn't like that. And I cried, and asked Timmy. I yelled at him because he's been coming in like chipmunk forms and stuff, animal forms. And I instantly yelled at him like it was his fault. But then I did apologize to him. But like, why'd that happen? And my friend's like, oh, it's it's how ironic that that happened, and then a couple days later you got rear-ended. I knew something bad was gonna happen, and I was like, well, I don't think that the bird had made that happen
No, the bird didn't make that happen.
because
Are you sure the bird was dead and not stunned?
I literally picked it up with a rag I had in the back of the trunk and put it on the grass. So if it maybe it was alive, but it was just stunned, I don't know.
Because I
But
saw
it gave me
birds.
it gave me the heebie-jeebies. I gotta let you know.
Because I saw the bird fly away. I'll be honest with you. See, sometimes birds, and this is what I saw, and this is what they reminded me in my head. Sometimes when a bird hits a window, it falls over and it looks dead, but it's not dead. It's just stunned. And when they're on their back, they will die. So what you do is you flip it over to the side, or you lay it down on its side or on its belly, and it will come back. They will.
Okay, well, I hope Timmy put it. I don't know how it landed because I told you I was a crying mess first off, because I don't like to see animals that die. Especially since Timmy passed in into heaven. So that shit's like it's just like it's overpowering to me.
So
So I
oftentimes,
mean, at least it wasn't in the road. I put it in the grass.
you're so sweet. See, oftentimes things like that'll happen as, like your friend said, as an indication that something is going to happen. But just because it means something is going to happen doesn't mean something negative or evil is going to happen. Here's the thing. It's a reminder that every single life and has a purpose in this physical world. I've said this to you before. Every soul has a purpose, and
I know.
not all of our purpose is to live until we're 90 or 100. That goes for animals as well. And when their purpose is done, they will line up with somebody or something that will take them out of the physical world when they're ready. I don't really feel like that's what happened with this bird. I do see a stunned bird. Like I was very much sensing that bird's energy, and I don't feel it on the other side. I saw it like fly away. And that would make sense with your situation because symbolically it represents getting stunned, getting knocked,
I
getting
got stunned.
take out of commission for a couple of days. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's yellow, and that is very significant because yellow is sunshine. Yellow is brightness coming back into your world. Yellow is all of those positive things, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's a symbol that there's going to be something that comes that's going to be jarring because you can feel how that feels. And it was jarring for the bird. It might stun you for a little while. But what was important about that bird is that there was somebody very caring in their path that came around and picked it up and moved it to where it needed to be. Was very gentle with it and placed it where it needed to be. So no matter if you get stunned, no matter if you get stuck, no matter if you get smoked, there will be people around you that will gently pick you up and place you where you need to be so that you can recover and fly away. That's what that bird was trying to tell you. Symbolically. They weren't trying to scare you. They weren't trying to make you think that something died on your windshield. Again, I got to tell you, I don't sense death. I sense a stunned bird. Because were you moving pretty slow or stopped when this happened?
No, I was driving about like 40 miles per hour. I was on like a 45 mile per hour road.
Interesting. And the very fact that you hit a bird on a road like that, birds are pretty smart. They usually don't dive right in front of your windshield like
I
that.
know, that's why I thought maybe I had fell from a tree, because I was going past trees.
And birds don't fall unless they're dead. So it could have already been dead, which is why I don't feel it dying around you. It could have already been dead when you did that. Maybe you taking and moving it over here gave food for another creature, another animal. Who knows how this already happened? But what I know is that animal didn't die when it hit your windshield. I'll tell you that. I don't feel that. I feel you coming along and placing it exactly where it needed to be with loving care, which is exactly what happened when you got hit. They put the people in your world to place you where you needed to be with loving care.
There even, yeah, even a lady came by and she had asked me if I was okay and if I needed her to call 911 or anything. And I said, no, I'm okay. Somebody's already on the way. But yeah, I had a nice older lady stop and see if I was okay too.
Yeah. Because doesn't matter what we're going through, God will always have somebody there to help us along the way. Kind of like here, they can cut my internet, but here I am, I got my sister. I'll drive across the city, come to her house, and use her internet, whatever works. But kind of like in your situation, God knows ahead of time what is going on and what tools and supports we need before we even get to the situation. So all of my readings for the last 3 days have been in person or on the phone. I haven't even needed internet until this morning when I have the ability to drive to my sister's house. If I had have had on the day that my internet got cut, if those readings that day, because I had a full schedule that day, not one of them was on Zoom. And that's not normal. Usually most of my readings are on Zoom. 70% of them are on Zoom. So the fact that for the 3 days my internet is out, God booked those all in person and on the phone before I even knew my internet was going to be out. He's got your back. You see what I'm saying? This is a sign that, yeah, you have to go through training, but we're going to have the supports and the players in place to help you through it when you need to go through it. So as long as you can remind yourself, now here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you some homework. And that is that now that you understand what was really upsetting about this entire situation, I want you to wash your soul in the mirror a little bit in a very specific way. I want you to remind yourself how proud you are of yourself for handling that situation. Some people would not have handled it as well as you did. I want you to tell yourself how proud you are of yourself for making it through that moment, and how strong you are for being able to take that ride in the ambulance and holding it together, and how grateful you are that you now know that no matter what happens, that God's got your back and all your loved ones on the other side got your back, and you're going to wash your soul. You see what I'm saying? You're going to have that talk with yourself, and you're going to tell yourself how proud you are for getting through that situation and how much stronger you are now than you were yesterday. And after you're done that little soul washing, you're going to come out, and I'm telling you, I can already feel the energy dissipating and your vibrational frequency rising. And then as soon as you are starting to see how awesome this is right now, boom, all this good stuff's going to come in your way. Did you get 3 days off?
No,
You're not
I
working
didn't.
today, right?
No, I had today off though. But my boss, he was like, "Yeah, I gave you tomorrow off." I said, "You didn't give me tomorrow off. I have tomorrow off." He's like, "I know." But no, I did ask, I did message work and I was like, "Hey, is there any way that I can be like rescue for a couple days for my body?" And he did say that he would give me rescue tomorrow. So
What
I'll
that
have
mean?
to work on them for the other day. Rescue is where like you get an address and then you take like a couple totes, like a couple bags from somebody that has an actual route, and then you could deliver them, and then when you're done with delivering those 2 bags, then you call them and they give you another address and you go meet up another person and take another couple bags. Just so, because like when you have a headache and then you're jogging and stuff, that makes your headache worse. And because I hit my head, I got like this concussion. So
Yeah.
that way
Take it.
I could take my time
Yeah.
delivering and not have to like have my head pounding.
Got yeah. So make sure you're eating lots of that Celtic salt right now. Hey? That will definitely help. And part of that pounding is the pressure, all of that emotional stuff going on as well in there. And so when you release the emotion, your body will follow suit. So your body will heal 10 times faster when the emotional dis-ease is handled than the disease part flees, and it will be replaced with health. But make sure you take like a handful of like Celtic sea salt or something. That will definitely help.
I have sea salt, but it's not Celtic, I don't think.
Any kind of sea salt will work, but Celtic is the best. It has the most nutrients, but even if you just have like gray sea salt or whatever it is, some kind of sea salt, pink Himalayan sea salt is the weakest of it, but it will do in a pinch. You just need more of it. It doesn't have nearly as many electrolytes and stuff in
I'll
it.
just go get the Celtic because earlier when you were just mentioning that to the other lady, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start putting that in my drinks for work.
Yeah.
Because there's days that I do end up starting to get like a headache and I gotta take ibuprofen and stuff. So
Salt
I'm
will work
trying to
way better
avoid
than
it.
ibuprofen.
But this job really is like giving me a boost in my confidence as far as my body anyways, because I keep losing weight.
Good job, girl.
And I've been getting compliments. Like Nikki the other day, she goes, "Man, you look hot." Not in a sexual way. I'm
Yes.
like, that job is doing it.
See? You're kicking ass, girl. I'm so proud of you. Healing takes time though, baby steps. And the better you feel, the better you look. Because when you feel good here, it reflects on your outside, right? So this is not something punishment to you or anything. This is something that God used you as a player in because he's up to something for you, for the other lady, for multiple people involved here. But just know that as this comes together, it's coming together in your benefit, for you, not to you.
Yeah, and I knew that. And I was wondering why I just felt so irritated about it
Now
because
you
I
know.
knew that because I've been watching and listening to and talking to you for a long time now. And I know that things don't happen to you, it happens for you. You just got to ask why and get the and stuff. But
But see, if you
I
know all
just had
that,
that
if
I didn't realize that it was all because of the whole Timmy thing that was the main cause of it.
yeah. And so now that you realize that and you can deal with the real emotion of it, you can let that go and you'll find that the frustration and the anger just dissipates like
It's
that.
already going away.
I know, as soon as you realize what that real emotion is, it goes away. Because anger, I'm going to say it again, when you feel anger and rage like that, it means that's not the emotion you're actually feeling. That anger is a secondary emotion. It covers up the real emotion. It is the protector of the real emotion because you feel too vulnerable to get to that real emotion. That's why I kept pushing you until we broke through that shell and you were able to see what it was. And then once you can see what it is, anger's gone. It doesn't need to cover it up anymore. And now you can heal the actual emotion and you're good as gold. I'm so proud of you,
See,
kiddo. You are doing.
this is why I came. I wasn't gonna come, but something told me that I had to come and that you were gonna find a way. So I bought the ticket last night.
I hope it was helpful.
It was, thank you.
You're so welcome. All
I'm
right.
probably the only one here.
You're what?
Am I the only one here with you?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody always leaves.
That's okay. That's okay. Then you get my face huge and your face huge, so now everybody watching can see us. But all right. And just so you know, that information that came through in your reading is going to be very helpful for other people out there listening who are also dealing with extreme anger and maybe not knowing why or where or how. That'll help. All right, kiddo. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you
Thank you.
very soon.
Okay, bye.